Hey, what's up guys? It has been a long time. Welcome to another of my tutorials, and today we are going to be doing some two functions. Part 1 of the video we are going to be doing the count function, and part 2 of the video we are also going to be doing the count blank function. Now these functions performs operations in Excel almost the same way, but you note there's a difference, because when you use the count function, that is a count function, you see that you are going to observe that it is used to count the number of cells that are contained in a certain range, either empty or having some certain value or some certain content. So what do we do when we want to input the function formula? So in whatever I have here, I am going to be using a list of students having some marks here as for my demo class. So we have some students entered in the list with the admission numbers. So we have Layton, we have Wilson, we have Hannah, we have Tony, we have Franklin, we have David. So you can have as many input as possible in your Excel worksheet, as you know. But for the sake of this example, we are going to be using the first one, this student number ICT 310, who is called Layton. And you can see that Layton has a number of units as listed above here on this top second row. And then we are going to be putting the function here to be able to calculate the number of cells that contain values for the range of the units. So what are we going to do? So this is what we do. We go to the cell where we want to input the number of cells that are contained in our range, and then as usual we start with an equal sign. So after the equal sign, we are going to put equals, and then we input this word count. And then after counting, then after inputting the word count, we need to tell Excel that we want to use a range. So I will start by opening a bracket, and then I will insert the range of which I want to insert to check the number of cells. So the range starts from C3. So I will put C3, and then I'll put a colon. Now the colon is to tell Excel, it tells the Excel that this is a range, and from C3 all the way to K, all the way to L3, that is. So you can use K3 or L3. For this purpose of this tutorial, we use K3. So up to K3, and then after you input that, you see that Excel highlights for you the range of cells in which you have input on the count function, and then you close the bracket like this, and then you click on enter. So you can see that Excel returns a value of 9, and we can confirm this by literally counting the number of cells that contains cells for the range of C3 all the way up to K3, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now some of you may be asking yourselves where you use this function. For example, you have many entries in an Excel worksheet where you don't want to have manually calculate the number of entries. So that is where you apply the count function. So the count function is reinforced further when you use the count blank function, where you want to find out which cells contains blank, which don't contain values, that is the cells which are blank. So for the case of this formula, if you wanted to copy the formula to the other cells, just like the way you normally do, and just before we go to copy the formula, that is one method of using the count function. The other method, if you don't want to type manually the range, you can do this. You still input the count function by starting with equals, and then we say count, then we open the brackets, and then we go to the start point of our range of the cells. Then you left click, then hold, and then drag up to the point in which you want to insert, which you want to calculate the number of cells that are contained there, and then you close the bracket, and then you click on enter. So those are the two methods that you can use. And then you can drag, like the way you drag to copy the formula. You place the pointer at the bottom right corner of the cell that contains the formula currently, then you left click and hold, and then you drag up to the point in which you want to calculate the number of cells that contains values, and like that. And you can see it gives us a value of 9, because all the cells that contains or that either contains cells or are blank in that range are 9 continuously. So in the next tutorial, we are going to see how or where the count blank functions come into. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this tutorial, and welcome to the next tutorial, which will be on Countblank function. Stay tuned for the next tutorial.